Montgomery County, a racial slur against the black community is printed 1,000 times on 1,000 sheets of paper from a school computer. That incident sparking outrage from students and pushing school leadership to take action.
My name is Frida Jones. I'm a special education teacher. I'm a case manager for students with learning difficulties, and I also am a co-teacher with the English department, 9th grade and 11th grade. Papers came through the printer in my classroom, so I was the teacher who retrieved the papers from the printer. It was sort of an out-of-body experience. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Just the sheer number of 1,000 pieces of paper coming out. Now I didn't stand there for 1,000, but I definitely stood there for several hundred, and I had a stack of papers all with the same word on it. Honestly, it was disbelief, but I was in a classroom with students, so I sort of had to do the everybody stand back and sort of take what was there and just deal with it on my own. I decided to go to Ms. Vance, who is our restorative justice coach. That is her initiative, so she's the one I went to. She also is a personal friend of mine. It was a very upsetting incident, so in addition to needing to follow protocol, I also felt like I needed some also just support on my own.
I still recall Mrs. Jones coming into my office. She looked at me, said with tears in her eyes, "I really am very sorry. I don't want to be the person who has the incident that breaks you." I assumed that it was just another in a long series of anti-Black racist incidents. And I said to her, "That's not possible." So after talking to Mrs. Jones, I recommended that we find Mr. Blankenship, who is the security lead at Wootton High School. We found him immediately, shared the stack of papers with him. We gave them to him, actually. He immediately began the investigation. He asked us to come to meet with Mr. Liu, who is our IT specialist. Mr. Liu was able to find the print job within 10 minutes. That was when we learned that it was 1,000 pages because all the pages had not printed out when Ms. Jones retrieved it from the printer. At that time, Mr. Blankenship asked us to come to the main office with him, asked us to wait in the hallway in front of an administrator's office. The administrator came into the hallway where Ms. Jones and I were standing, proceeded to explain that they were already aware of the incident. They had received the report on Wednesday, which was 2 days prior. The reason they did not follow up is because it was the same night as the award ceremony. It felt like a gut punch.
My name is Timo Taiwo, and I am a senior at Wootton High School.
My name is Layla Kadamian, and I'm a senior.
In Wootton BSU, I am one of the 2 co-presidents.
The position I hold is a co-president. Basically, my job is to lead the team on big projects, take the lead on certain initiatives that includes, for example, testimonial writing, being that bridge between leadership and other entities such as administration or talking with leadership of other groups.
Planning meetings, holding events, and overall bringing this Black student body together to achieve a common goal through meetings, town halls, assemblies, and other activities.
So what led to the rally and the planning process and everything, we had to consider the backlash. Not everybody is going to agree with what you're doing. Not everybody is going to be in support of you. That is just something that we've known for a long time and that we had to brace for.
We had shared our experience with our school a multitude of times, had not at that point received a response that we felt was adequate.
Administration's inaction when it came to such large hate crimes, students being called the N-word at school or on the bus or in the halls or in the classroom. Most notably the 1,000-page printer incident that occurred in May of last year.
We had brought our issues to the Minority Scholars Program. Their sponsor had been very integral in everything that we have been working on over the past couple of years. And to voice our concerns with more students. A lot of students gave feedback and shared that they were experiencing similar things across the county. We decided that a rally across the county would show that acts of anti-Black racism in general, aren't just happening at Wootton or in Rockville or at certain schools. This was a pattern of behavior that we were witnessing across the county.
On October 17th, we held an anti-Black racism rally. It was a coalition between BSU leadership, BSU members, and students all around the school, and even staff.
When we had students come together and we gave short speeches on what led to this rally.
Today we're here to address everything that has not only been going on in our school, but also our county. Anti-racism, discrimination, prejudice, hate and bias of any kind that needs to be addressed and has been silenced for too long. We are putting our issues at the forefront and we are uplifting Black voices.
A group of students, I'd say more than 100 in the school, came and we walked around and we had slogans that proved our point. MCPS, we need to wake up. This is no place for hate, and just calling attention to what had been going on.
Yes! Wake up MCPS! It's time for change! It's time for change! Wake up Wootton! Wake up Wootton! 1,000 words! 1,000 words! 1,000 wounds! 1,000 wounds! 1,000 failures! 1,000 failures! One solution! One solution! Wake up Wootton! Wake up Wootton! 1,000 words! 1,000 words! 1,000 wounds! 1,000 wounds! 1,000 failures! 1,000 failures! One solution! One solution!
Teachers, staff, and administrators. They observe our mistreatment, overlook our concerns, and silence us, and have yet to take meaningful action. We, the Minority Scholars Program, stand for inclusivity by actively welcoming individuals from diverse backgrounds and fostering an atmosphere where everyone feels valued and respected.
Wake up Wootton! Wake up Wootton! Time for change! It's time for change!
So the way that it was structured, it actually occurred countywide. I believe the majority of the high schools, as well as several elementary schools and middle schools around MCPS, participated in the anti-racism rally.
The rally was very interesting because we saw a lot of students surprised that this was going on, or they felt that this rally was an overreaction. It just calls attention to the way that students are unaware that these issues impact students in their community. I think the biggest and most prominent result of the rally, bringing more awareness within the school.
I do think that it got people to pay attention more, and that's exactly what we wanted.
More students start to ask questions such as what was happening, why hasn't there been a response. Other schools, other administrations felt more pressure on them to uphold a certain standard, respond to acts of racism in ways that students can return to school and feel safe.
A rally at Wootton High School in Rockville to address what MCPS describes as an anti-Black racist act that occurred at the school on Monday, December 3rd.
A Black student was in class. They got up from their desk. When they came back to their desk, the N-word had been written on it. The student then reported that to their teacher. The teacher took a picture of it as evidence and then failed to report the incident to an administrator. The student's mother then called the school to ask why no investigation had been launched. It was evident that it hadn't been reported in the first place.
The community wasn't informed until later in the week. School leaders say, quote, the delay in the reporting and response to this incident only caused further harm to the Black student.
Rollins, a junior at Wootton High School. At SJ and BSU, I'm the treasurer. I manage the budget, oversee all the fundraising, and just ensure that we're in good financial health. To transform the pep rally into this rally, so this was a chaotic process. It required a lot of coordination between different student groups. BSU knew we wanted to do this, but we needed to meet with SJ, obviously. Having 2 BSU leadership members in SJ was definitely very helpful in that process. We only had a lunch period to plan it. It wasn't like a long time. But once we started getting the ball rolling, we had our nice discussions on whether or not we wanted to throw out the pep rally in its entirety, or we just wanted to have it as an addition. We did decide to just make it fully a rally to voice our concerns as BSU. There's no pep rally if there's no pep to be had. If a group in our school is struggling, you can't be celebrating anything. The assembly was definitely very important for a couple of reasons. We had county officials in presence. Notably, Dr. Peter Moran was there, and I think it was very powerful to have him in the presence of that specific pep rally.
we got everybody in such a concentrated space, and because SJ was also heavily involved in it, we were able to get people to really wake up and open their eyes. That's why it got as much media attention that it did, because everybody saw.
As a student, it's very hard to juggle both.
Emotional and educational burden. It's definitely been a big one.
This process has definitely been very difficult. Not only do I not have time to enjoy by myself, during school I was being taken out for meetings. The day of the pep rally, I missed pretty much the entire day.
I'm truly passionate about creating an environment where every student can feel safe. Sometimes it feels like you have to choose between helping others and helping yourself.
I have had moments where I felt like I couldn't take everything at once. I have assignments to do as a student. I'm a student first and foremost, and I have my own life. A lot of my joy was being taken from me. My energy was being depleted constantly. It was getting hard to keep up with schoolwork, and it was getting hard to keep up with things that I loved. But I really appreciate the fact that now things are starting to look up a lot more. We still have a lot of work to do, but it is starting to get.
Spring's here just like a spring start to spiral. May bring some warmer days. Poolside getting very tan. Showing how you're moving.